So let's move on to the next question, guys. In this question, we are given that there are two integers m and p, right? And p is greater than m greater than 2. Okay. We are also given that m is not a factor of p. Okay. The LCM of m and p is equals to 30, right? And when p is divided by m, the remainder is r. And we have to compare r and 1, right? So there is a lot of information given. Let's see it one by one, right? So firstly, I would like to ask, what is LCM, right? I hope you know it. So for example, there are two numbers, right? Let's say, uh, for instance, maybe 4 and 6 or 4 and 10, right? So one number is 4 and the other number is 10, right? So if I want to find the LCM, then what I do, like from a basic point of view, is that I do the prime factorization of 4. So when I do the prime factorization of 4, so 2, 2 and 2, 1, right? So 4 is equals to 2 into 2, right? So prime factorization means breaking down a number into its different prime factors, right? Okay, let's talk about 10. So when we do the prime factorization of 10, then 2 5s are 10 and 5 1s are 5, right? So 10 comes out to be what? 2 into 5, right? So now the LCM of 4 comma 10 will be what? So we take one number from everything. So for example, we know that 2 is a number, so we write 2. But 2 is already taken, so we'll not take 2. 2 is already taken, we'll not take 2. We'll take 5. So the LCM become 10. The LCM will become 10. Right? So this is just an example to help you clarify. Right? So this is how we calculate the LCM. Okay. Now tell me one thing. Over here we are given that the LCM of M and P is 30. Right? So that means the LCM of M comma P is equals to 30, right? So what is 30? 30 can be written down into its different prime factors, right? So 30 can be written as 2 into 3 into 5. I hope this should be clear. 2 3s are 6, 6 5s are 30. So 30 can be written as 2 into 3 into 5. So the LCM of M comma P is this, right? Now tell me one thing. We have to take two numbers in such a way that their LCM is 30, right? Okay. So tell me one thing. For example, let's take one number to be 6. 2 3s are 6, right? And let's take one number to be 1. I hope this is fine, right? So let's assume this is P. This number is P and this number is M, right? So 2 3s are 6. This is P and 5 is M, right? Now tell me one thing. P and M are integers. P and M are integers. Satisfied. P is greater than M greater than 2. So P is greater than 2, right? M is greater than 2, right? And P is greater than M, P is greater than M. So this condition is also satisfied, right? M is not a factor of P. So obviously 5 is not a factor of 6. So this condition is also satisfied. The LCM of M and P is 30. If you take 6 and 5 and find out the LCM, you will get 30. You will get 30, right? So even this is satisfied. So all these conditions are satisfied for these two numbers, right? Now let's take the last number. When P is divided by M, the remainder is R. So when we divide P upon M, so that means 6 upon 5. What will be the remainder? The remainder will be 1, right? In this case, R will be 1. I hope this should be clear. In this case, what is R? R is 1, right? So this is one thing that we have derived. So in this case, R becomes 1. This is one possible case, right? Okay. Now let's try to take some other case. For example, now let's try to take 2 5s are 10. So let's take one number to be 10, right? And let's take one number to be 15. 5 3s are 15. I hope this should be clear, right? Again, because we know that P is greater than M, so we take the bigger number to be P. So this number becomes P and this number becomes M. Simple. Again, let's see if all these conditions are satisfied for these two numbers. So P is greater than M greater than 2. P is greater than M greater than 2, satisfied. M is not a factor of P. That means 10 is not a factor of 15. Absolutely right, because 10 is not a factor of 15. So this condition is satisfied and this condition is also satisfied. The LCM of M and P is 30. So obviously if you take the LCM of 10 and 15, it will be 30, right? We just took it out. So even this condition is satisfied. Now when P is divided by M, the remainder is R. So now if we divide P divided by M, if we do P, which is 15, divided by M, which is 10, what will we get? The remainder? The remainder will be what? 5, right? If you divide 15 by 10, the remainder will be 5. So R is equals to 5. So this was one case in which the remainder was 1, right? So one possible value of R is what? 1. And the other possible value of R is what? 5. So if R is 1, the answer will be what? C. If R is 1, the answer will be C. If R is 5, the answer will be A, because this side is bigger than this side. So sometimes the answer is C, sometimes the answer is A. So the final answer becomes what? D. Your final answer becomes what? D. I hope this should be clear. There should be no doubt. Simple question. So how did we start the question? We started the question with this because we were told that the LCM of M and P is 30. So we broke down 30 into its prime factors, 2 into 3 into 5. Then we took two numbers such that for some numbers the remainder is 1 and for some numbers the remainder is 5. So that is what we intended to show. And therefore we can finally say that the answer is D. I hope this should be clear.